Okay, so welcome back. So in our previous one, we did our tracks, we did our solve, and like this is where we got to trust our tracks. I know my tracks are probably all right. There's probably some not so great. We spend more time, but I want to spend all my time 2D tracking basically, not on the weekend. And we've got our deviation browser, and we can see that there's some stuff that's not. We ideally want to have this as flat as possible and as low as possible. But like I say, this is just a roadmap to what's going on. If you're not seeing this, you might actually be seeing something like this. I set mine, because that's just the overall deviation curve. I go to my deviation browser, and I select active points. So this shows me all my active points. That means I can alt left click and I can select the points that are giving us problems. So you would think, oh, this one's causing us problems. But I can see that it's a good point. I can't see any problems with that. And the same with this one. Well, maybe there are, but it's probably drifting low. But what we're going to do, we're going to go into the parameter adjustment window. Because I don't believe this is right. This is maybe this is the focal length. I've misremembered the focal length. I was pretty sure it was 24. But the first thing, when you've got the solve, and it's kind of working, so if we press F6, we can see we got a moving camera. It's all working great. If we press F5, we can actually see through our 3D lineup view, where we've got our 3D points. We can kind of see there's not kind of... Our 3D points are kind of coming off around here. I got a feeling that this is going to be focal length and some distortion. So what I want to do is go to Windows, go to my parameter adjustment window, and it will come up blank because we've not set anything to be adjusted. So the first thing that I will do is go to my focal length, and I'm going to change it to adjust. So that's going to my camera in lens, changing my focal length and adjust it. Where's that gone? And you'll have this window. Now you can see the focal length has come up. So you've got a few things. You've got fine, brute force. Maybe for something like this, I'm just going to throw it on wide. Because I actually, with the crop factor and possibly the wrong lens, I got a feeling that maybe this is probably a much bigger lens. I don't know. Maybe when you look at it, after a while you kind of get to see what lenses are like. If I didn't know anything about this camera, I wouldn't, just by looking at the image sequence, I would not say that's a 24mm. I would say it's probably more close to 50, maybe. 50, 55, maybe. It's not super wide, and it's kind of, there's not a huge amount of depth, but let's see what we get. So I'm just going to click adjust, and you can see that our deviation now has gone down to 1.12 from, what was it? 5.3548, which is a big chunk of deviation. So let's just actually adjust that again. It's very annoying that it keeps popping off to the right, but so we're going to transfer it. So now we've transferred this over. You can see in the focal length, it's actually 45mm. That's not a bad guess. I was probably... You just get that feeling after a while if you've done it for a long time. So I'm going to press Alt-C and solve. And you can sort of see we got the same thing. We use the result. And now we can see that our deviation browser is looking far better. We've got some bumps in here. And you can diagnose those bumps by clicking Center 2D. So, I mean, those bumps are coming from inertia, from my shaky hands and the sensor. So, but the thing is, what we've got here is a nice smooth, well, it's not smooth, it's relative to the value, so it's flat, which is good. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to go to wide, change that to fine. I'm actually going to clear that and select adjust again, see if we get a better result, because you can get better results. See, it's now gone down a little bit more. If we adjust it again, see if we get any changes. I don't think it's going to change much, but if we Alt-C and solve now, we can see it's got down a lot more. Anyway, I think that probably this one is going to... The ones that I thought were going to cause this issue haven't caused this issues. The one that has is this one in the foreground. And it's probably because it's probably actually not a good thing to track because it seems to be wiping around the eye. So, I mean, let's try. Let's try and just track his eyebrow there. I'm hoping that they should give us a better result. I mean, if I hold Alt and left click, that deselects. But if I hold left click and drag, that also selects. So now I can go to my, and now I can see which tracking marker that is in my point browser. So if I right click, I can go modify, and I'm going to calculation and disable. I'm just going to turn it off. Press Alt C. And it's not made much of a difference at all. Worth a try though, but we can also go to here and change it to correctly. But I think it's just from the inertia from it. I mean, sometimes it's just it is what it is. So I guess the next thing that we probably want to try is adjusting our distortion. So I like to just adjust them one at a time. And when you do this, you want to make sure you turn off your focal length. I'm going to change it to adaptive. You get different results, but I find you don't want to do your distortion and your focal length at the same time because it will just kind of give you what it wants. It will just do whatever and maybe not do the right thing. And this might not even do anything. Because I've got a feeling it's just all in the inertia. I'm going to pull that over there because it is actually quite annoying that it keeps... I'm in the wrong one. But I forgot to change that. So I'm going to go back to my radial standard 4 degree. And I'm just going to go to my adjust. I'm going to do that again. Clear that and adjust. Probably made no difference. But yeah, it has done a little bit of a difference. And we go to our quartic. So it's really annoying that it does that. So you've got your distortion, which is your basic sort of, let's see it as your distortion that's around here. Like your oval shaped. And your quartic distortion is your corners. So now this is going to solve maybe what it's going to pull in on the corners. So I'm just going to adjust for that as well. I mean, like, this is a pretty good value. Don't get me wrong. Like, people always chase for like 0.01 or whatever's lowest. 1 is perfectly acceptable. So what I'm now going to do, I'm just going to turn them all on. I mean, like, this is the last thing that you should do once you've gone through and done them all. I'm going to adjust them all together. Hopefully maybe it'll bring it down a little bit. Maybe get us into that under the 1 sort of range. And it kind of has. And for me, this is good. Like, I think below 1 is pretty good. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit longer because it's doing more. But because we've already solved for the focal length and done the distortion focal length separately, distortion separately, and quartic separately, we've done them all. We've got them as close as we can by themselves. So they're already very close to being right. So now what they're going to do, they're just going to wiggle between in that small little area between them to get a better result. You don't want to do this first because it will just do whatever it feels right. You want to get it as best as possible before doing them all together. So now if we press Alt-C and solve, we've got a pretty good result. And these are all relative. I would say this is pretty much done now. So if I press F5, we can see that our 3D points, we zoom in on our 3D points, which are these green crosses. Everything is center 3. If we put it on center 3, and that's centered on the point. You can see that's all sticking. Everything's working great. So we've now adjusted that. So now we'll move on to the next step.